I can't even do the intro right now. So yeah, we lost. We lost. And all I can really think about right now is could this be a sign of things to come? Because you saw what happened in that game against Houston, where Houston had us in a dogfight, and it had it not been for a 98-yard drive by Dak, we lose that football game. And you think about, like, was that game against Houston a foreshadowing of what was going to happen this week? For the most part, not really, because we had a 27-10 lead. Like we were whooping their tails, bro. Like, I mean, we were rolling. But the one thing that we had always been known for being this year was a second half team. And that reared its ugly head in this game, because that second half couldn't have gone any worse than it did. Um, and like I said, that loss was devastating. But all I can really think about right now is could this possibly be a sign of things to come? Because I mean, you lose games like that. How can you expect to beat Philadelphia next week on Christmas Eve? And I was really looking forward to that game. I was really looking forward to that game. But now, and I say this when I do literally mean this when I say I am literally scared right now. That's right, Dallas. I hate to say it, but you got me scared right now. You got me scared of what in the heck could possibly happen in that game against Philadelphia. I was so looking forward to that game. I was so looking forward to an absolute beatdown of Philadelphia. And don't get me wrong, I understand what they did today against Chicago, but against Chicago, but I don't know. This loss just feels worse. This loss just feels worse than what Philadelphia did today. It just, I mean, first of all, they won. We lost. But yeah, man. Like, I hate to say it, but it's true. I am fearing the Dallas Cowboys right now. I literally am feared I am literally feared by them, because it's down the stretch like this when you really need to play your best football, and here we are, 2 games in December, and it looked like we were, finna have. It looked like we were having December start off with a bang with that game against Indianapolis, but these past couple games against Houston and Jacksonville, I mean, we barely stole a win against Houston. And then we lost against Jacksonville today. And oh, by the way, I just want to point out this defense sucks. This defense sucks right now. They absolutely suck. I mean, this is ridiculous. What are you doing? I said last night that I had confidence that we'll be able to stop Travis Etienne. I had confidence that we'll hold them to 50 yards rushing. That game against Houston, I finally felt like I could finally believe in the run defense for once. I could finally believe in the run defense. I actually don't have to worry about if we'll give up 6 yards here, 7 yards there, 12 yards there. I mean, like, this defense is sorry right now. They are literally sorry. They have not been as dominant consistently. We're talking about consistency. I'm not talking about, you give up 31 points to the Green Bay Packers one week, and then you come back the very next week against Kirk Cousins and the Minnesota Vikings offense, and you hold them to a field goal. No. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about in the early part of the season when you were consistently playing like a great defense. I said to myself, man, this defense is legit. We have a defense right now that we have not had in a very, very, very long time. And a defense that I believed can actually take us to the promised land. But we haven't been playing like that as of late. Since after that Detroit game. It started with the game against Justin Fields, where we gave up 240 yards of rushing, and we gave up 29 points. That's unacceptable. I'm sorry, but that's unacceptable. Thank God that our offense scored on each of their first 4 possessions of the game, and they were basically red hot in that game on offense, scoring 49 points. Because without that, we lose against Green Bay. The defense gave up 200 yards rushing, but this time it wasn't the quarterback that was giving us a headache. It was actually the running backs. Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon both gashed us in the run in that game in Green Bay. I said that might have been the most frustrating game I've seen all year. And then, of course, the Minnesota game happened. And I thought, okay, that game against Green Bay really lit a fire under this defense. And they came back this next week when people weren't really giving them a chance. And they absolutely throttled Minnesota. And it's like, okay, well, it looks like the defense is back. No. The next week against the Giants, I still felt like the defense played very unimpressive to me. Darius Slayton, it was a game that for a while looked like we were about to lose on Thanksgiving again. But then we actually, turned things around in the second half. But, even that, man, I felt like the defense didn't play well. And then, of course, we play Indianapolis, where, yeah, we blew them out. All right, I'm not gonna lie. That was a pretty good game. The defense balled out. They did. And then you come back the very next week against Houston, and you give up 23 points. Um, I just have not been very confident in my defense as of late. And then now the offense with the turnovers, the miscues. Now I don't know if I can trust them either. I don't know what to trust at this point. I don't know what to trust. I literally can't. I don't know what to trust right now. This team has not been good. This team has not played good. And I have to admit that right now. Because it just seems like there's just a sort of pattern that has been happening since that Detroit game when Dak first came back and he was a little rusty. But guess what? The defense, you know, the defense managed to, carry the team, and we wound up winning that game after we held one of the most high octane offenses in the league to 6 points. And since that game, there's been a freaking pattern that's been going on. Like, the defense will play like a championship defense one week, and then they'll turn around, and it's like, what in the world is going on here? I mean, I just don't get it. I don't. And the pass rush has not been there like it was. It has not been there since what? Like, it really has not been there since really like the Minnesota game, to be quite honest with you. Like, since that game against Minnesota where we had our finest hour, 7 sacks, it feels like the pass rush hasn't even been there really anymore. It hasn't. And I'm just thinking to myself, is this season going to be anything like I'm hoping for it to be? I'm hoping for us to finally make a deep playoff run and make it to the championship game, make it to the Super Bowl maybe even. Like, that's what I felt like we had this year. But what we've been doing in the second half of the season, I'm not liking this, guys. I'm not liking this. I'm not. Alright? And you can call me Skip Bayless if you want. Alright? Like, that's just you. If you want to call me Skip Bayless if you want because you feel like I don't have any faith in my team, then that's you. Alright? I'm not. I mean, it's like, I'm not like really trying to say that I have no faith in this team. I just don't know if I can. I just don't know. I'm scared right now, bro. Like, I'm literally scared of what can happen in that game against Philadelphia next Saturday. I really am, because you play like this and you can't beat Philadelphia playing like this, losing to teams like Jacksonville, struggling to teams like Houston. Like, I wanted to sweep that under the rug against Houston because we won, So I wanted to sweep that under a rug because we won. So it was like, you know what? Okay, like, let's just forget, what happened. As far as I'm concerned, we won, But like, now we were winning. We were on a roll. We were winning, 4 straight games. I mean, we were really on top of our game as far as just finding ways to win games. But now this game against Jacksonville, I have to point out the elephant in the room. We still cannot stop the run. Dak Prescott is throwing interceptions, turning the football over. And I'm just not liking this right now. The play calling, really suspect. It's like for a little while, Kellen Moore, you were calling a great game. But then something happened over the course of that final quarter and a half of the game. And on that third down where we got stopped at the goal line, somewhere after that, the play calling just all of a sudden just got so vanilla. It just got really vanilla. Like I said in the previous video that I just made on my review of the game, I felt like we're overcommitting to the run. I feel like we're overcommitting to the run because we didn't give ourselves enough chances to pass the ball, to give ourselves opportunities to score more points. Remember what the commentators were saying when they said that, it didn't matter whether the Jaguars are playing man, zone, double teaming. CeeDee Lamb just cannot be stopped. Which is why I don't understand why you didn't throw the ball more. Because we kept on running it, and there were moments where Jacksonville was stuffing the run game. And we put ourselves into third down situations, and we don't convert, and then we got a punt. I mean, just so much that went down in this game. And, I don't get it. I don't get it. I mean, teams that you're supposed to be way superior than, and you just lose. I don't get it. All right? I know they say any given Sunday, but, man, bro, we shouldn't have lost to Jacksonville, man. That game shouldn't have gone into overtime. I didn't want that game to go into overtime. I wanted us to just get out of here. Once again, for the second straight week, I just wanted us to get out of here and hold on to a victory. But this time we couldn't do that. They managed to kick the game-tying field goal, made it go into overtime, and, that's just where everything just went south. Everything just went south from there on. So, I don't know what you're thinking, but here's what I'm thinking. You're 3 games back in the division, in the NFC East. You know that Shannon Sharp and Skip tomorrow morning on Undisputed is going to be talking about how much of pretenders you guys are because, you're playing down to your competition that you clearly are more superior than. And the back's against the wall on you. And everybody's going to talk about you and is going to talk about how much of frauds that they think you are. And you just got to respond to it. And we just got to hope for the best that, this team can respond and we'll close this season out with a 13-4 record. We just got to hope at this point. I can't even guarantee anything anymore. I just got to hope. I've got to hope now. Because the Houston game and the Jacksonville game, I can't guarantee nothing no more. I can only hope. Because this team is so frustrating that I don't know anything anymore. So, it is what it is. Go out there next week on Christmas Eve and go out there and ball out and show people what you are still about. And show people we're still one of the best teams in the NFC. All right, if not the NFL, at least the NFC. Go out there next week against Philadelphia, show up, ball out, take care of business, and dominate them, and show that we're still here and we're still one of the best teams in this league. Because games like that, which you showed out there today, you're not going very far in the playoffs. I don't know. I don't think you can even beat the Buccaneers right now, who right now is more than likely who we're gonna play in the wild card round. I don't know if you can beat Tampa Bay with that type of performance. I don't know if you can beat Tampa Bay with that type of performance. So I'm just saying, all right, I don't know what to expect out of you guys at this point. I don't know what to expect out of you guys from this point forward for the rest of the season. But as far as I'm concerned, I'm just hoping that you can go out there next week against Philadelphia and show up and show out.